What's up, everybody? Today, I'm going to read the front matter and the first chapter of my back pain Bible. Okay. One of the things that I noticed is that you don't really have too many authors really going through their book and explaining things along that they wrote in their own book. So this is what I'm going to do for you today, and hopefully my back pain Bible is going to make a little bit more sense to you. Okay, that's number one. But also you're just going to get a greater understanding, really, of how deep things can get when we are trying to get rid of pain in the human body. Without further ado, let's hit it. Advanced praise. Not only is Chris a gifted athlete and a skilled trainer, in his new book he draws from years of experience of trial and error. He condenses this information to dispel the myths surrounding back injury and helps you get to the root of your problem quite easily. The book gives us a clear understanding of the importance of self-care through regular, consistent mobility work. It is a must-read for elite athletes, beginners, and individuals of all body types. That's from a client of mine, Jeff Oppenheimer. He is a doctor and neurosurgeon. Cannot even explain how grateful I am for what Chris has done. This book is a true miracle worker. If it wasn't for him, I'd be stuck with my old problems, and for the past few years, I could feel something was wrong with my body, yet nobody could help me. After utilizing the techniques in this book, I immediately found that my glutes were locked up and not firing correctly. Since utilizing his mobility sessions, I have drastically reduced pain in my back, and I finally feel like I'm on the right path. Mullen S. So what I tell people consistently, all the time, you got two glutes, you got one back. When these guys are misfiring and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, we end up getting back pain. And that's a majority of my clients. That's one of the things that happened to me and my right hamstring, creating back pain on my left-hand side then. Chris Kidawski has helped me to stay injury-free my entire football career. His techniques have helped me recover from sprained ankles, muscular trauma, and a broken back in record time. The guidance he provides in this book to me is invaluable. Devon Best, former NFL wide receiver. I started helping Devon when he was in college at the University of Hawaii. We had become very good friends. And when he ended up getting when he got a free agent deal with the Miami Dolphins and he made the team, he ended up bringing me over and I worked with him for 3 years. We ran his Best Route Foundation together. But the most important thing was keeping his body healthy because that's his paycheck, right? So with me through his career, he only suffered one really gnarly injury, and that was a torn MCL and a partially torn ACL in his left knee. That was because Bart Scott hit him on the side of his knee when it was planted. You know, you got somebody 250 pounds going like a freight train or a Scud missile into your knee. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do in order to stop that from happening. So, but other than that, he had no soft tissue injuries. He never lost a game or time in a game because of a soft tissue injury. And a lot of that was because of his due diligence in wanting to keep his body in shape and showing up for our sessions. I've started the trigger point release stretching and strengthening as in the back Bible. I also began the Atlas work using the trigger point release work from the head, neck, and shoulder pain Bible. I'm amazed. I am learning so much about the body. I also purchased the foot and ankle pain Bible as my daughter is a dancer and is experiencing pain in her heel and a tight Achilles on the right as well. I am having her roll out her trigger points in her calf. She has some tightness in her right gluteus maximus, and they are all getting better and going away. Thank you, Chris. Cindy S. That's just how deep it can go sometimes. It can be a dysfunctional foot or ankle that tightens up the calf, that tightens up the hamstring, that then tightens up a glute, and then tightens up the opposite side back. Okay, so if the whole right leg is locked, it's going to push a lot more dysfunctional force into that left side back, and we're going to end up with back pain. Okay, it's just that simple. This weekend, while searching for answers to my numerous aches and pains, I ran across the Back Pain Bible and downloaded it. I then took my iPad to lunch and in about 20 minutes read a few chapters while eating, It made perfect sense, so I decided to try your mobility and stretching advice. I was doing rest, ice, and ibuprofen, also in the middle of what feels like a chiropractic scam package of 12 treatments that simply are not working. On the way back home, I stopped by a park and took what started out as a hunched over, very painful walk, stopping every so often to stretch out. About 10 minutes later, I was back to my car with about 50% improvement in pain and mobility. I went around one more time and got even more benefits. Wow. I got more relief in that 20 minutes and a short walk from your approach than with a long list of expensive, time-consuming practitioners in years. So I came straight home and finished that book and bought 2 of your others for the back and knees. This weekend, I read all 3 of them. You are a gifted writer, and I am very impressed with your creativity, ideas, and approach. Michael S. So one of the takeaways in there is about chiropractic. And look, chiropractors help people every single day, I have no doubt. Okay? But what really attaches to the spine is your muscle tissue and fascia. So are your vertebrae subluxing by themselves, or are they getting pulled and pushed in different directions, turning and twisting them, and then tilting them, locking them into dysfunction? It obviously comes down, and the correct answer is it's the fascia and the muscle tissue. Moving on, my dedication. This book is dedicated to all those in pain who have been searching for a way to move freely again. That's all of you, hopefully, that are watching this right now. And the foreword now from a long-time good friend of mine, Chad Boatman, that I really only knew for 2 or 3 years while I was treating him, but he was kind of like a kindred spirit, really great guy. He was becoming a doctor, okay? And he had slid into third base while playing softball and ended up smashing, like driving his tibial plateau into his femur. So you have the lower leg bone right here, and then you have the upper leg bone, and they ended up smashing together like that. And he ended up just destroying, like crunching and cracking that tibial bone, the plateau of that. And he was having a lot of back pain when he started to rehab from that injury. And what we ended up finding out was that the leg wasn't functioning very good. And it was obviously pushing a lot of pain and problems into that left side back. So we ended up taking care of that. We took care of the right leg as well. He was pain-free, and he couldn't believe that he wasn't going to have to spend the rest of his life in just crazy amounts of pain. And we ended up getting it to go away. So when I was writing the book, he was like, hey, man, I'd be honored if I could write the foreword for you. And I said, absolutely. So here it is. Let me preface the following statement by agreeing with you that if it seems that this is just another puff piece that must be too good to be true, hearing results with a laundry list of superlatives immediately triggers the cynicism in all of us. But for those willing to listen, I'm here to tell you, in fact, that there aren't enough of said superlatives to describe the results I have seen. A high-level athlete who had previously received regular treatments with extremely positive results first referred me to Chris. As mentioned above, I carried with me a high degree of skepticism that my chronic, at times debilitating back, knee pain had zero chance of being resolved due to, in large part, to many failed attempts with physical therapy in the past. Despite short-term success with frequent and pricey physical therapy visits, the results were never permanent, resulting in increased frustration and decreased physical activity. Chris's myofascial release techniques, coupled with what can be described as biomechanical reprogramming, combine for a treatment modalities that is less invasive than injections or surgery, while also providing better long-term results than even the most aggressive physical therapy plans. Having experienced the aforementioned never-ending paradox of orthopedic surgeon consults and physical therapy treatment plans myself, I can say happily that not only have these methods allowed me to continue to participate in pain-free in a variety of athletic activities, but also have given me the tools to maintain said results with minimal effort. Fully believing that my results were not an outlier, I have also advised colleagues of mine to see Chris, with all experiencing similarly positive outcomes. To anyone out there using chronic pain as a crutch for not being active, I would challenge them to give what you will find in this book a chance prior to undergoing painful injections or unnecessary surgical procedures. Chad A. Boatman, DO, PG1, Emergency Medicine. Well, that is the front matter, ladies and gentlemen.